Blue Jays win 6-3 over the Seattle Mariners. Moved to 18-20 on the year. I'll show you my little co-host here. This is the one that's been keeping me up all night. Still coming up with a name. I think this is going to be Ruby. Welcome to the show, Ruby. Glad to have you. Anyways, with this out of the way, let's get into the recap of the game. As I mentioned, 6-3 victory over the Seattle Mariners. We moved to 18-20 on the year. We got a little bit of momentum going now. Finally getting some key contributions from some players stepping up. And yeah, vibes are pretty good right now. It was Luis Castillo versus Kevin Gausman on the mound, so a matchup of aces or co-aces, however you want to look at it. Two very good pitchers. I was unsure of how we were going to be able to get through to Luis Castillo, but that wasn't a problem, as right away in the top of the first inning, Bo Bichette walks, Guerrero Jr. walks, Varsho strikes out, so you're thinking, great, we got the first two runners on, same old story here with the Blue Jays. Springer then reaches on the infield single, loading the bases, and Addison Barger gives us a very timely hit with a double to right, scoring two, making it 2-0 Jays, top of one. Finally getting one of those timely hits we've been talking about. Now, they could have tacked on more with two runners still on and one out, but unfortunately they were unable to do so. But hey, 2 runs, you take it in that situation, given our track record so far. Kevin Gausman looked really good in this one. He went 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of first, allowing the Jays to get through again in the third inning, where we're still 2-0. Varsho flies out, Springer grounds out, so you got 2 up, 2 down. And then Barger, the rally starter, and again, Barger just looked unreal this game, hammering doubles. His exit velocities were off the charts. We all know he's super toolsy, and he finally got some good results in this one. So he gets us started with a double there. Clement then singles, scoring Barger, and then Nathan Lucas steps up and hits a big bomb to right center field, 391 feet, scoring Ernie Clement, making it 5-0 Blue Jays. Now, my only gripe at this point was we were unable to really pile on this game and get one of those blowouts that we'd been needing to give the bullpen a rest. But hey, a win is a win, so we won't complain too much, especially with a guy like Luis Castillo on the mound. To get through 5 runs that early on him, amazing stuff. And we were doing a really good job of working his pitch count. We were being selective. Just really night and day difference approach. Really from the entire Blue Jays lineup. Everybody looked pretty good even if the results weren't there, and just some really great at-bats. So yeah, I know they said they had a hitters-only meeting, I think it was the night before or the day before, and I don't know if this is just going to be a short streak out of that. Maybe the vibes are just high, maybe they uncovered something, who knows, but whatever it was, the offense did look quite good today. Bottom of third, Kevin Gausman finally runs into a bit of a trouble with the second time through the order. Tavares flies out, Moore strikes out, then Williamson singles, Crawford singles, Polanco singles, scoring 1, making it 5-1 Jays, and then Rodriguez lines out. So his pitch count went up a bit there. He got into a bit of trouble, but was still able to dial it in and keep it 5-1. Now, we settled in at 5-1 for a while. Both these vet pitchers were able to kind of settle down until the 6th, and then Gausman started to wear out. He got Polanco to ground out to lead off the 6th, and then Rodriguez singled, Raleigh reaches on an infield single, and that Cal Raleigh single there was so impressive because he was beat by a mile on the pitch. I'll try to see, I remember the visual of it, but I can't remember what pitch it was. So it was a splitter. It was pitch number 6 of the at-bat, and you want to talk about a defensive swing. It was pretty much in the catcher's glove when he just kind of flicks the end of his bat at it, and just enough to get a little squibbler down the third baseline and ends up getting on base. So yeah, really impressive stuff that Raleigh is the power hitter that he is, and he's also able to, with 2 strikes, just flip the bat out there and basically do a swinging bunt. So yeah, really good job by him. Rosarena singles, Rodriguez scores, Raleigh moves up to second, so you got first and second there. That was enough Kevin Gausman for the night. Brendan Little comes in, gets Solano to strike out before giving up a double to left field. Raleigh scores, and Rosarena moves up to third before Moore strikes out swinging. So Little comes in, gives up the double, but also gets 2 strikeouts, and it's now 5-3 Blue Jays in the bottom of the 6th. So what had been an issue this far had been our bullpen's overuse, had really been getting exposed. And this one was a little bit odd for me because a few games ago, about a week ago or so in Cleveland, Jimmy Garcia had the bases loaded. He was at 30 pitches, and everybody said, fire John Schneider. It is absolutely, you can't do this to a guy. And in that situation, he had 2 outs when he walked the bases loaded. He went single, strikeout, walk, grand slam in that outing. In this outing, he just got straight to it. He went single to Rodriguez, walked Raleigh, walked to Rosarena. And so you're going, wow, bases loaded. His pitch count was up to, I don't know what it was at that point. It was actually fairly quick getting those guys on. And then he gets Mastrobuoni to ground into a fielder's choice. So he was a nice play by Vlad there where he like stabbed at a ball, knocked it down. The runner was there, the ball was there. Vladdy was like, everything was kind of havoc at first base. Everybody was at the same spot at the same time, but he stuck with the ball, threw it home, gets the out. Nice play by Vlad, keeps the force on every bag, no run score, keeps it 5-3. And then Jimmy Garcia really settled in, got the strikeout of Tavares, got the strikeout of Moore. He ended up throwing 28 pitches in this one, and like I say, he had bases loaded, none out, and got out of it without letting up a run. I thought that was something only the Jays offense did. But again, it just shows the difference between fire the manager and good call is just the end result. It was pretty much the exact same situation as the Guardians game, only even worse because he has bases loaded, none out. And they leave Jimmy Garcia in there to throw 30 pitches. And you know what? They stuck with their horse, and he got him out and showed why he's, he showed why he's paid the big bucks in terms of relief pitchers anyways. And he did a great job knuckling down and getting us out of that, keeping it 5-3 moving into the ninth. So great job by Jimmy there. Top of 9, Jays tack on an insurance run. Now 5-3 and 6-3, big difference, especially with Jeff Hoffman, the way that he's looked as well. Just getting that extra insurance run was huge, and it came in the form of a sac fly. So what happened here was Heineman singled to lead off the inning. Clase laid down a bunt, moving him up to second, so good small ball for team baseball there. Bichette then walks. Guerrero singles loading the bases, and then Varsho hits a sac fly before Springer flies out. But just that one extra run makes all the difference. Jeff Hoffman comes in, looks a lot more like Jeff Hoffman. He strikes out Williamson, strikes out Crawford, and Crawford got on from the wild pitch by Hoffman. But Polanco then strikes out, and Rodriguez grounds into a fielder's choice, ending the game 6-3 Blue Jays. So really nice bounce back. This was a game that we had been losing this last week. We'd just been falling apart in the weirdest ways and just couldn't get any momentum going. Now we've rattled off a couple in a row. Jimmy looked better. Hoffman looked better. Hopefully, we can get a couple good starting pitching performances, maybe even a blowout here or there, just to try and give these guys a day off from time to time. But you know what? That's wishful thinking at this point. We'll go over the box score real quick. Bo Bichette went 2 for 3. He had a really good game. Varsho 0 for 4, 3 Ks. I'm just trying to see what stands out to me here. Barger 3 for 4, looked great. Like I say, he had 117 miles an hour, 113 and 109 or something like that. They were 3 very hard hit balls. Was it 3 doubles? Yeah, it was 3 doubles for Barger. Phenomenal stuff from him. He made a great jumping play on a liner down the third baseline as well. So his defense was on point. Like we can keep reiterating, very, very toolsy guy. When things are right with him, things look very good. He looks like he's going to be, a superstar. We just need to see this good version of him a little bit more often, and it looks like that's starting to be the case. Nathan Lucas was 1 for 4, but he had the big home run and the 2 RBIs, so great stuff out of him. Plus, he provides you, good outfield defense. He's a pretty good base runner, aside from that pickoff at second base a few weeks ago. Heineman does a really good job behind the dish. He went 1 for 4, so he's a great fill-in for Kirky. And Jonathan Clase is still struggling a bit. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, and he's now batting .091. So, you know what? It's hard coming up to Major League Baseball. It doesn't matter how good you're doing in AAA. It is a different animal. There is a large gap there in quality of play. You look what's happening now. Wagner and Roden go back down to AAA, and now they're going 4 for 5 with home runs and stuff like that. So that's something we kind of got to get used to seeing. Is it is just a different level, and AAA stats don't necessarily translate to MLB. So, anyways. On the pitching side of things, Gausman got us 5 1/3. He went 100 pitches, 99. Little, Garcia, Hoffman had to lock it down, which isn't what you want to see, but a W is a W. Anyways, with all that said, I will stop there. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and we will talk to you guys later. All right, have a good one.